I-69 is a mid-Michigan corridor that is rather susceptible to lake effect snow.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is thanks to good old Lake Michigan, a major reason actually. So lake effect really happens. You need that warm water first, right? Well, when you get cold air moving over the lake, so before winter has truly had a chance to cool it down, you get that cold air moving over it. And then next, of course, you've got that wind direction, which
that takes it right over land. And you said that this is the biggest portion of Lake Michigan, so it's picking up a lot of that moisture and taking it right across pretty much that I-69 corridor, kind of like an arrow there you can see.
Yeah, bingo. And if the wind shifts just a little bit, that's where you start getting those snow squalls on I-94. But for us, when it's directly out of the west, like you said, you got the widest part of the lake, and that's where we get that sudden, 4 or 5 inches in a matter of a couple of hours there. It's
I don't think I'm ready for the snow just yet.
I don't think I'm ready really either. But I-69, I mean, you don't want to be caught on that in your car, especially when the visibility is dropping and it's starting to get slippery.
Oh yes, just definitely need to take your time out there. Well, earlier, Ahmed, you showed us ways to prepare your home for the winter. Now we're going to take a look at how to prepare your car for the winter, along with techniques to recover from a skid and things to keep in your car should you slide off the road.
We have control over 2 things. We have control over ourselves and we have control over the vehicle itself.
We can control the way our cars perform in the winter by checking the big 3, the battery, coolant, and tires. This, according to David Butke, program coordinator of the Automotive Technology Department at Mott Community College. He says always check your battery before it gets cold. If you don't, it could be bad and you wouldn't find out until the temperature drops and your car doesn't start.
In the summer months, your starting system does not require the cranking amps out of your battery as it does in the wintertime.
The second thing you'll want to do is check the coolant level and its freezing point.
The antifreeze could freeze, and that could cause problems with the engine, such as the block cracking and so forth.
The last and most important thing to check in your car is the tire pressure and condition. It's important to always fill your tires based on your car's posted pressure requirements. Also, check your tire's tread depth.
You can see the top of Lincoln's head. Well, that means your tread depth is way too low.
This is called the penny test. The type of tires on your vehicle are also important. Most people use all-season tires, which will give you some traction on the snow and ice, but winter tires will be more effective.
You're also going to have a lot more tread on a winter tire. You're going to have a lot more channels to propel water away from the tire, so that the tire can make good contact with the road.
The rubber composition of a winter tire is also softer, which allows for better grip on the pavement. Even with good tires, though, drivers can still have issues on the snow and ice, which is why extra precautions must be taken.
Drive in such a manner that you're in control of your vehicle. Give yourself more time. Right? And watch your following distance.
Sergeant Patrick Agema, an instructor at the Michigan State Police Precision Driving Unit, says drivers need to slow down and adjust to the road conditions. When it comes to speed limits, the posted speed is intended for sunny and dry conditions, so you can't always drive at the posted speed.
They think that you can stop a 4,000-pound car on a dime, and you can't.
To demonstrate that you can't stop a vehicle quickly, especially on the snow and ice, Sergeant Agema let me get behind the wheel of an MSP Cruiser on the test track in Lansing. He went over skid control and other maneuvers used to avoid objects in the road. The course's surface is identical to the packed snow and ice we see on roadways. Sergeant Agema said that everything has to do with friction and other physics concepts. For example, the shocks on your vehicle absorb energy, and that energy is distributed equally throughout your vehicle. If you begin to slide on snow or ice and jerk the vehicle to one side, you cause the vehicle to become unbalanced, and that can cause you to skid. The smoother you react by not jerking the steering wheel, the smoother the energy transfer, which will lessen the loss of control.
The traction that you have out there is only as good as the traction that is between the tire and the roadway. Okay, we have a lot of safety features in our vehicles, stability control, traction control, right? And these systems don't create traction, right? They only make the best use of the traction that is available. So once you exceed those traction limits, you're not able to steer, you're not able to brake.
If you begin to slide, you need to turn the wheel in the direction you want to go. Also, don't slam on the brakes. If your ABS or anti-lock braking system fails, your wheels will lock up and you'll lose the ability to steer. Either gradually push on the brakes or try to safely steer away from the hazard. Sometimes, though, certain situations are unavoidable.
Definitely, first thing you need to do is make sure you're safe. If you can, make a phone call, call 911, let them know your exact location. If you can get out of the car, get out of the car safely. Also, if you can move the car off the roadway, go ahead and do so too, so you're not impeding traffic.
If you're waiting on emergency crews, turn on your hazard lights. You'll also want to keep flares, a blanket, first aid kit, and water in your car in case of an emergency. And the last, most important piece of advice is to always wear your seatbelt no matter the weather conditions.
So ending with a fun fact, if you didn't know already, a car does not need to warm up before you drive it. Cars today are so advanced when it comes to fuel injection that the onboard computer system is constantly monitoring fuel delivery and will adjust to a variety of conditions. So this means warming the car is more of a comfort than a necessity.
Yeah.
And that's all me.
Man.
I
there.
usually just jump in and kind of go. This morning it was a little chilly.
Sit down in the seat for the first time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, you can't drive on the roads if they aren't clear.
Which is why the Michigan Department of Transportation made sure their plows were ready to go ahead of the snowfall.
They do a lot to get ready. Everything from maintenance on the trucks to checking the salt supply. Very important, of course, here in Michigan. As you can see, there is a lot of salt piled up and ready to go. MDOT's Associate Regional Engineer for Operations tells us in our region alone, they go through 60,000 tons of salt in the winter. Ouch. She also tells us when those plows are out there, please keep your distance.
My advice to drivers is to drive for conditions, allow enough time to get to your destination safely, and don't crowd the plow. Leave at least 6 to 10 car lengths away from the plow trucks.
A lot of maintenance goes into keeping these plows running so that you can get to your destination safely. Very important. Coming up in our winter survival guide, what it takes to rescue people who get in trouble on the ice.